You asked for it, and now you've got it. Intermediate Vocabulary Lesson number 1. This lesson's title is Myths and Legends. Let's go to the first page. What is a myth? A myth is a story that is not true, but some people believe it. One popular myth is the Loch Ness Monster from Scotland. Scottish people often believe the monster is a modern type of dinosaur. The word myth comes from mythology. Mythology is the study of myths. Most mythology studies subjects of gods, superheroes, or humans. Most mythology studies subjects of gods, superheroes, or humans. Some historians are people who study history, think that myths were started as a way of telling true stories. Others believe that myths are only interesting stories or jokes to entertain people. So people think that possibly there were true stories that people wanted to tell, so they created these myths, which are kind of exaggerated stories that are not necessarily true, to tell these stories, to make it more interesting and exciting. Myths and stories are often told over a campfire to entertain the children. So here is our campfire, and people might be telling some myths to maybe scare the children or to get them excited. We have 3 words to start: popular, believe, and modern. Let's do popular. Popular is an adjective. It means many people like it. For example, orange juice is popular this year, but apple juice was popular last year. So this year, many people like orange juice, whereas last year, many people liked apple juice. Popular colors include blue and orange. The popularity of puppies has caused sales of pet food to increase. Now this is actually a noun, not a verb. The popularity of puppies, so many people like puppies, has caused sales of pet food to increase. So people are buying more pet food. The president lowered taxes and his popularity increased 10%. Popularity is important to some people because they want attention. Believe. Believe means to think of something, or to think something is true with no proof. For example, I believe my car is good, but I don't know. So this person has no way of showing that it is true, but they think it's true. Believing in gods was popular in ancient Greece as well as Rome. So they believed in gods, but they didn't really have any proof. Belief in healthy food is caused by many scientific studies. To believe in gods requires lots of faith. So to believe is a verb, but here we have verb, noun, verb. This man believes that reading picture books will help his mind. That's kind of ridiculous. Let's do the next word, which is modern. Modern means of recent time or not too old. Modern books have more pictures than historic books. So books today or recently have more pictures than historic books. Historic means from history, or before the time of now. The modern battery has more power than old batteries from the 1920s. The television set is not modern, so Ben didn't buy it. It is an old TV from 1950. Those TVs are really cool. Black and white, really big, nice antenna. I like those old TVs. Modern computers are very fast and can do many tasks at once. And here's your generic stock photo, because I have to put photos in quickly to make millions of lessons. Now, ancient Greek mythology. What an interesting subject. I went to Wikipedia to find information such as this. Modern mythology is weak compared to ancient Greek mythology. There are many Greek artifacts available, including pottery, poems, and statues, but only one known manual. This manual was supposedly written by Apollodorus, a man who lived from 180 to 120 BC. Many gods existed in the minds of the ancient Greeks with fantastic names, including Zeus, Ares, and Athena. Each god had a purpose. For instance, Zeus is lord of the sky and the rain god. Stories of these gods are very dramatic. Greek gods are powerful and were feared by the ancient Greeks. But I do not fear these gods, for I am God. Okay, now, key vocabulary. Artifact. As you can see here, we have Greek artifacts. So what is an artifact? An artifact is an object shaped by human work. So that just means people made it with their hands and tools. The Native American arrowhead is a classic artifact of U.S. history. Many artifacts from Leonardo da Vinci's collection of work. That's not a complete sentence, sorry. There. Many artifacts from Leonardo da Vinci's collection of work exist. You can't just... Right, one of the most important artifacts from ancient Egypt is the Sphinx. Great. Artifacts are found by digging up the earth. Not like this, though. It would be very careful. But I couldn't find a picture of an excavation of artifacts, so I just had to have this big honking thing here digging up dirt. So now we have supposed. Supposed. Thought to be true, but not proven. For example, the cats supposedly ate all of the cookies because there are none left. But we don't know the cats ate the cookies. Maybe your mother ate the cookies. No, just kidding. The supposed site of the temple is currently just a pile of rubble. Rubble is this. All this rocks and stuff. Or like this. If this were to break and fall apart, that would be rubble. Now, supposed finished. What am I doing? There it is. The supposed site of the temple is currently just a pile of rubble. Oh, that's too bad. Supposedly... No. Suppose we ate only at restaurants. What do you think will happen? We would probably get fat and or a little bit sick. Now, we are supposed to eat if we are hungry. Oh, that's nice. Fruit is supposed to ripen, but sometimes it stays green. It's time for fantastic. Fantastic means imaginary or amazing. So, for example, fantastic needs to be underlined. Fantastic creatures such as dragons and aliens are good in movies. I like aliens. I don't like dragons, really. They're okay, I guess. But they only breathe fire. Aliens can do all kinds of things. The food is fantastic at this restaurant. Who is the chef? I must thank her. You see, I made this politically correct. I made a woman chef. Isn't that nice? The design of the house is fantastic, but the paint is ugly. That's not very politically correct. Maybe the house will be offended. Many fantastic cars are now built in Europe, such as this BMW. A fine piece of German engineering. Modern myths. What is modern myths? Well, myths are stories and modern is now, so it's like fake stories of today. Let's read the paragraph. Ancient myths are wonderful, but modern myths are funny and fun to debunk. Now look, I purposely put funny and fun in the same sentence, so you really have to think. What's the difference? I made a lesson on this. Here's review. Funny is ha ha ha, ha ha. Fun is like, yeah, fun. Okay? Debunk. That means to, like, show that it's false. Show that it's wrong. But we will get to that here in a minute. Now, one funny myth originates in South Korea. It is widely believed that electric fans must not Whoa, whoa, must not be operated in a closed room or the occupants will die. Occupants are the people inside the room. So if you have a fan on and there's like no window open, you will die. Interesting theory. Therefore, if Koreans are using a fan, they will open a window slightly to avoid fan death. A fun myth to prove wrong is you cannot fold a paper more than 7 times. On Mythbusters, they got a piece of paper hundreds of feet long and finally broke the myth by folding the paper 11 times. Barely. Now, myths such as leaving your car running while you go into the store can get expensive. In Canada, people, if they go to the store, often they will just leave the car running and just keep burning gas, burning, because they think it will hurt the car. But all it does is just waste gas. Now, debunk and occupants. Debunk means to expose as a lie, or to show that something is not true. Mr. Thompson always told us he was a man. This myth was debunked. He's a woman. Now, debunking lies from bad products will save people money. Good. Finding Jesus' face on a grilled sandwich is a myth that is difficult to debunk because how do we know what Jesus looks like? I guess if I just look in the mirror, that's what Jesus looks like. Now, if we debunk myths, we become smarter and stronger people. And this person is so smart they have a calculator glued. He has a calculator glued to his head so he can compute things any time he wants. Now, occupants. Occupants are people inside a building or vehicle. The occupants of the airplane were rescued after it crashed. Oh, good. Now, the bus carries 57 occupants, including the driver. Only one occupant is in the bathroom, but he is currently lighting a fire. Call the police and have him arrested at once. What a crazy guy. Now, crashing into another car can hurt the occupants inside. That's enough occupants. Let's do our argument. Our first argument is that myths are great. Suppose we had no myths. What would life be like? Boring. Think if all of ancient Greek mythology never existed. All of those amazing artifacts would not be here today. The fantastic sculptures, buildings, and stories would not be available for modern people to enjoy. Modern mythology is nowhere near as dramatic and interesting as classic myths. They usually deal with everyday life, such as too much air in your tires doesn't help save gasoline, or Apple computers are easy to use and cheap. As a society, we should make more myths to add more flavor to life. Instead of obsessing about celebrities or fashion trends, we should create more myths to spread. That way, the next occupants of Earth will have something interesting to talk about. Aw, what a nice story. And you can see I reused a bunch of words from these things here. Isn't that helpful? Now, let's do the second argument. Myths are a waste of time. Myths are a waste of time because they cause people to believe in lies. Popular fantasies are interesting for some people, but they cause great harm for others. Modern myths are not helpful because they cause people to become less intelligent. So these myths are making people stupid. History has shown from many artifacts that people trusted myths with their lives. Many people were willing to hurt themselves and sometimes even die for their beliefs. This proves that myths are dangerous to society. The future humans hopefully will save... Whoa. The future humans hopefully will live their lives without myths. They will save a lot of time and pain. As well, they will become smarter and stronger. Society will be happier and people will have more freedom. Very good. Now, questions. Question number 1. What are some modern fantasy movies? Number 2, what artifacts are from Greek mythology? Number 3, what are the occupants of a school? Number 4, why are myths good? And number 5, why are myths bad? Let's do number 1. What are some modern fantasy movies? Was that the question? Yeah, it was. Okay. There are many modern fantasy movies. A recent movie that has some fantasy is a good answer. Such movies include The Lord of the Rings, Star Trek, Spider-Man, and Avatar. Now, I saw Spider-Man number 1 and 2. I saw Star Trek. I saw one of these, but I did not see Avatar. In fact, I haven't seen any fantasy movies in the last 2 years. Great. Now, let's do number 2. What artifacts are from Greek mythology? Some ancient Greek artifacts include pottery, sculptures, buildings, books, and stories. Number 3. What are the occupants of a school? Typical occupants of a school are students, teachers, principals, janitors, directors, janitors, cooks, and sometimes police. Now, number 4. Why are myths good? Myths are good because they give people something fun to do. They result in lots of interesting artifacts for future people to find and study. People should spend more time creating myths instead of focusing only on celebrities and fashion trends. Why are myths bad? Myths are lies, and people should not study them. Many people hurt themselves or die for incorrect beliefs. If people study myths or lies, they can get injured. Society will be smarter if myths are not studied.